Bangladesh, and it is globally vulnerable and endangered in Bangladesh. Its distribution range from the north of the Brahmaputra River, eastern Bangladesh and northeast India, to southern Vietnam, Cambodia, Myanmar, and Thailand. So the study area, Shatchuri National Park. Shatchuri National Park is one of the most biodiverse forests in Bangladesh, consisting of 112 hectares of plantation and 120 hectares of natural forest that houses 3 groups of northern winter macaque. From the global aspects, previously researchers worked on the ranging pattern, type preference, fluvarium seed dispersal of northern winter macaque, as well as they worked on the southern winter macaque in Malaysia, which is the habitat utilization. There are several works in Bangladesh. In Bangladesh, researcher works on the population status of northern winter macaque and the ecology and the behavior of winter macaque. However, the scientific work on the diet of northern winter macaque, especially of Shatchuri National Park, has not yet been done in Bangladesh. One group observed in welcome plantation and another group was found in mixed vegetation in Shatchuri National Park. Diet composition, preference of diet, they vary between the animals. Food choice in natural forest and plantation forest has yet not been known in Shatchuri National Park. Therefore, an initiative has been taken to study the diet of preference of northern winter macaque in the habitat of Shatchuri National Park. So the objectives, this part is the objectives of my study, to find out the consumed diet materials and compare this consumed material between the groups. Identify the second point is identify the feeding plants and the important plant species for both the groups. Find out the dietary overlap between the groups to determine and compare the annual and monthly seasonal variation in terms of diet, and find out the variation between the sex and age individual. So here we go. Here is the study area that is Shatchuri National Park. Firstly, in the right side, I try to I try to show the map of Bangladesh, and then in the left side there is a map of polygons, and finally the middle part is the map of Shatchuri National Park. It is at about 243 hectares. It is 130 kilometers northeast from the capital of Bangladesh, Dhaka. Here are some pictures of habitat of the winter macaque. Here I try to show firstly the natural forest habitat, and in the second row to the right corner I try to show plantation on which the macaques do live. And there are lots of water resources throughout the national park, which I try to show. And here are some exquisite pictures of I try to show feeding behavior, feeding items of northern winter macaque. And finally, on the core part, that is methods, I divided the method into two parts. First of all, data collection method. So firstly, the data was collected from the two groups of northern winter macaque. As I said, one in the plantation and another in the mixed natural forest in Shatchuri National Park, which was carried out from August 2020 to July 2021. Both the groups were tracked from dawn to dusk for 4 consecutive days each month. And the groups were scanned every half an hour with a 15-minute interval. 9 individuals, during the scan, 9 individuals were scanned, and all food items handled by the first 3 adult male, adult female, and adult juvenile was reported. Eva monkey was found at the time of the scan. The plant species and the food among which it was feeding were recorded, and simultaneously, if an individual was feeding on a plant material during a scan sample, data on plant's individual plant part and its maturity pattern were recorded. I tried to categorize the food item. The food item was categorized as leaf, fruit, flower, medical matters, and numbers. And each part is subdivided into other parts. And finally, the fruits were divided into ripe food. Further, the ripe food is divided into whole ripe food and partial ripe food. And simultaneously, the unripe food is divided into whole and partial unripe food. Next part is the data analysis method. So firstly, I used frequency method to determine the different food items. There are the detailed formula shown in the first passage of the slide. And secondly, the proportion of plant species in the diet and the proportion of different food types calculated in the same way. The data will be compared throughout the year across the month and between the and seasons between the two foods. Monthly dietary difference both of the foods and meals will be determined by the Wilcoxon sign behind this. And finally, dietary diversity and evenness between the groups will be measured by Shannon index and the evenness index. That's all from the first part. And here are some pictures of the material that I used during the study. Here another slide of materials, and finally here are some snaps which are showing that I'm observing and recording the data. And finally, thanks everyone. Thanks to the students reading from the physical digital method. Thank you. So it was used for the height to measure the height, to measure the distance the distance of picture from the observer.